and in this tutorial we're gonna build a drop-down menu. So now all I have is this app.jsx file which contains this drop-down component. So app.jsx has the following styles: min height screen, text white, and background color is gray 800. As for drop-down, as you can see, I have only this in this component. So let's get started. First of all, let's create a layout. So inside this div, I'm gonna create a button. And here I will write drop-down menu. Here it is. Now let's add some styles to this button. Let's say that background color will be blue 600. Padding horizontally will be 4 or 16 pixels, and vertically it will be 2. Let's make it to be rounded. So it is 6 pixels. Okay. Let's say that on hover it will be a bit darker. Okay. Let's add some duration so that it will be smooth. Let's say that it will be 200. And let's make it to be cursor pointer. Okay. Now let's center this button horizontally. For that, to this div, I'm gonna create maximum width. So in this case, I will make it to be 400, for example. So let's say that it will be 400 pixels. But as you can see, this button doesn't take up all the width which is available. So now if I make this div to be another color, for example, blue 900, you see that actually this div takes up this space. And to make this button be full size, all I need to do is to say that it will be width will be 100%. So now it is taking the whole available space. So now I will remove this background color because we don't need it. And now to center this button horizontally, I need to say that margin will be auto. So from left and right it will be after. Now all I need to do is to save my file, and now it is centered exactly the way we need. Now let's add some padding from top and bottom to this div, and it looks much better. So now, next to this drop-down menu text, we need to show an icon. So it will be either down or up, depending on whether drop-down menu is open or closed. To control that, let's create a state. Let's say is open, set is open. So we will use useState, and by default it will be false, so it will be false. And now let's create a conditional statement. So if is open is true, then we want to show this icon. And if is open is false, we want to show this icon. Okay. So let's save it, and now by default the icon will look down. So let's see it. So as you can see, it is here and it is looking down. Now to control the layout better and for better practices, let's wrap this text into a span tag. Okay, now to this button, let's add the following styles. Let's say that it will be flex. Let's say that items will be center. And let's also say that justify will be center. Now, at this point, I want to make my text to be uppercase. And I want it to be bold. Okay, if I click, nothing is happening. So let's change that. So to this button, I'm gonna come and say on click, I want to set is open to change from previous to the opposite of the previous. So let's test it. As you can see, the arrow is changing. Okay, let's create some menu items that we're gonna show. So let's create menu items. And here I will say home, settings, and logout. We want to show these menu items when drop-down menu is open. So let's do it right under this button. So if is open true, only then we want to show our menu items. So for that we can create a div. And inside that, we can take our menu items and we can map our data. So here, let's say item. And here we can create a tag. So here, let's say item. And each child in this case should have a unique key. Since each item of our menu items is unique, I can say that our key will be item. And for reference, like for a link, I will also use item. So let's save it and see what we have. Now, as you can see, we have our items. So let's add some styles. So to this div, let's add the following styles. Let's add some margin from top. Okay. Let's say that background color will be white. And now we don't see our items. So to this div, to this a tag, let's add the following styles. Let's say that text will be gray 700. Okay. Let's say that each of our items will be block, meaning that they will be ordered on top of each other. So let's save it. And now, as you can see, they are put this way. Let's add some padding for this a tag. Let's say that horizontally it will be 4, vertically it will be 2. Okay. Let's say that on hover we want to see another color. So let's say that it will be gray 100. Okay, let's add some duration. Okay. So let's make our drop-down menu. Let's make this div to be rounded as well. So let's say that it will have a border radius to be 6 pixels. Okay. Now, when I hover this logout, you can see that on hover, we see this like unwanted experience in this edge. To prevent that, we can also say that this item will also have a border radius of 6 pixels. So now when I hover over, we no longer see that unnecessary thing. Okay, so when I close, we don't see our menu. And when I open, we see our menu. Okay, now we need to be able to close our drop-down menu when I click outside of this drop-down menu. For example, when I click this, or if we had some other elements, when clicking them, we should close this drop-down menu. So let's try to do it. For that, we need to use useEffect hook. So let's do it. So in our dependencies, our useEffect will depend on isOpen state. So every single time isOpen changes, this useEffect will run. So now we need to control whether someone clicks inside of our drop-down menu or outside. For that, we need to use another hook called useRef. So let's say that it will be drop-down ref. And here, let's say useRef. And by default, it will be null. So we need to make a reference to this div, which contains this blue button and these items. So let's say that for our reference, we want to use this drop-down reference, okay? So let's create a function to control whether someone clicks inside or outside. So let's say handle click outside. And here we need to use this event object. And then we need to do the following. So if dropdown doesn't contain this clicking, we should set is open to be false. So let's say if it doesn't, contain, so we need to say dropdown ref dot current does not contain this event dot target. Then we need to say that set is open will be false. So right now, as you can see, I have an error because I didn't import this useRef. Okay, so let me explain everything in detail. So you may wonder why we use this .current. It is because when we use useRef, it returns a mutable object with a single property. So it will be something like this. So dropdown ref is equal to this. So that's why we write .current. Okay, I think it's clear. Then why we even use this question mark? So by writing this question mark, we make sure that dropdown ref.current is not null or undefined to prevent some errors before calling this contains function. And then what is event.target in this case? So whenever we click somewhere outside this drop-down menu, everything will be event.target. So if I click in this area, it will be event.target. If I click another, for example, text here, it will be event.target. So by doing this, we just make sure that we click everywhere, but not inside drop-down menu. So I think that everything is clear to you. If you have some questions, feel free to write them in the comments. So keep in mind that we need to use this function when drop-down menu is open. So let's here say the following. So if is open, then we want to use this function by saying document.addEventListener. So what event listener we want to listen? It will be mouse down. I will explain why mouse down and why not click event listener. Okay, so here we need to use this handle click outside function, and we need cleanup function. So let's say return callback function, and here we need to say document dot remove event listener, the name of our listener, and our function. Okay, so let's save it and see what we have. I will try to click here, and as you can see, our drop-down menu is closed. If I click here, it is open. I can click this home. I can click this settings. So when I, for example, click this home, you can see that our drop-down menu closes. It is a normal behavior, I think. So as you remember, guys, I said why we use mouse down rather than click. So mouse down happens exactly when I click. So I clicked and it happens. So even if I didn't release my mouse button, so if I click and then if I release, it is already happened. So in this case, if we use click, so let's see the difference. So now if drop-down menu is open and if I click, so I clicked and I'm still holding my mouse button, I didn't release it. Now, drop-down menu will be closed only when I release my mouse button. So now I will release my mouse button, and only then drop-down menu is closed. And on mouse down, drop-down menu closed exactly when I just click. So in general, we click and then we remove our fingers from pressing the mouse button, right? And on mouse down, we get what we want immediately without even the necessity to release our mouse button. So it happens exactly for example, I clicked, it happened immediately. Even if I hold it for a long time, we no longer see our drop-down menu. Okay, so now we have what we want. When we click settings, when we click logout, everything looks good. And when we click outside of our drop-down menu, it is closed. And I also explained the difference between mouse down and on click. And there is also one event listener, which is called mouse up. So it happens only when we release our mouse. So for example, I clicked now and nothing has changed. Now I will release my mouse button and only then we get what we want. So I will change it back to mouse down. So that's it, guys. If you find this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends. Thank you.